Recording.
Okay. Hello, everyone. This is the public meeting on a reconsideration of resolutions that we voted on at our last public meeting last week concerning the hiring process for the new director of Veteran Services. I'm Susan Branoff, chair of this subcommittee, and we have five of the six members. So we have a quorum, which is great to see. Have all of you had a chance to see the printed versions of the various options that we're going to be discussing? I just wrote the really long one for option one this afternoon because I was also waiting for information from Ann Braga, and I just wanted to get as much information as possible. But so the other, I included the versions that we discussed at the end of our meeting. To be honest, as I think we all were aware, we were very rushed. We didn't really have an opportunity to fully consider the best wording of it. And
That's an understatement.
yes. So I think it's a really good idea that we took this extra time to think about it. And also because, to be honest, we've learned more about what the current process is. And at our last meeting, that was the first time we had ever heard about this relatively new committee that had been put into place, which is part of the process now.
So Susan, I'd like to thank you for writing the draft that we saw today, and I'd like to thank Alec too for working on it and working on the report. That was really nice of both of you to do all that extra work.
Yeah, no, Alec and I actually worked on the report together because a lot of the part that went into the option that I wrote today was based on stuff that had been incorporated into the report as well. So in theory, all of this works together. And hopefully, John, at some point, I don't know if you had an opportunity to see the report that we sent to Lisa for posting on the full AC meeting site for tonight, but it contains information concerning the Massachusetts legal requirements about the department, and which is part of what our resolution now addresses. So let's turn to the first option, the first page.
Susan, if can I interrupt for just a second?
Sure.
Just because well, first I want to apologize for missing the last meeting with Bill, because I think I could have resolved a lot of this if I had been there. You should be aware that we are hiring a veteran services officer, and that job will be posted in the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
The sixth floor is finally posting it?
No, so the holdup it is because with Bill retiring, we wanted to take a look at the job and see if we wanted to make any adjustments to the job description before we posted it. So that was really the only holdup, was looking, given that the budget is where it's at, and the town is going to have to make some decisions about where it wants to go moving forward. We wanted to take a hard look at it, make sure it was the right job, perhaps reclassify it, perhaps look at regionalization. And so we explored those options. I did that with Ann Braga, and ultimately decided that regionalization wouldn't be a good fit at this time because it was going to take too long, and opted. We did make some minor changes to the job description. It had initially, when it was first drafted, I think been veteran services and emergency preparedness. We have an emergency preparedness coordinator in the office, so it doesn't make sense for the position to have that in the job description. And it's already doing a lot of human services work. So the only adjustments we've made is to just reflect the fact that this position does human services. And if it has any additional bandwidth outside of supporting our veterans, that it can provide that support to other residents who have human service needs. So that's all done. And
Good.
my expectation is that this will all be in the select board's packet next week. And I'm hopeful and have not heard any indication otherwise that they'll be voting to approve the authorization to hire, and we'll move forward.
Well, that's good to hear. I'm a little dismayed by the delay here because you had to have known before, well, town hall must have known before he retired in January that he was going to do that, and it's now March. And all the work is
We
now-
did have several weeks notice, yes, and
Yeah.
he'd been
Right.
talking about it
What-
for months.
Yeah, but
Right.
we have all that work being done by a clerk, who's probably a little overwhelmed at this point,
Right.
and we don't
Well,
want him to burn out
also-
and leave.
Not all the work. Bill is still in one day.
Yeah, I'm aware
Yeah,
of
he's
that.
working, we know, 10 hours a week or so. But the concern we had, and which, would be helpful if you could reassure us, under state law, there must be a department of veteran services in every municipality and town and city of Massachusetts. And the only option of share, and there has to be a director
That's
of that.
not my understanding. No.
That's why I wanted you to see the
Yeah.
law itself. What it says this is Title 17, Chapter 115, Section 10.
Yes.
It says in pertinent part, the mayors of cities and the selectmen of towns other than cities and towns which become part of a district as authorized by the second paragraph of the section shall cause to be established and maintained in their respective cities and towns a department for the purpose of furnishing such information, advice, and assistance to veterans and their dependents as may be necessary to enable them to procure the benefits to which they are or may be entitled relative to employment, vocational, or other educational opportunities, hospitalization, medical care, pensions, and other veterans' benefits. Each department so established and maintained shall be known as the Department of Veteran Services, and the officer in charge thereof shall be known as the Director of Veteran Services. Such director and any assistant or deputy director appointed under this section shall be a veteran and shall be appointed in a city by the mayor or in a town by the selectmen. So, and there is a possibility of combining municipalities if they physically adjoin each other. So, but you could only have one city in that district. In theory, Brookline is a town, but in reality, it's the size of a city. And I don't see the feasibility of having Boston and Brookline share one department and one director. And I can't imagine that they would ever agree to it, nor would Cambridge, nor would Newton. So in reality, we must have a department and a director. And so there's less discretion about that position than what I think people were aware of. So we wanted to bring that to people's attention, and that's why we actually have the entire act as part of the appendix to our report, and we quote from it. But
Can we focus more on the
but
wording?
let's focus on
And
the
Donnell had his hand up.
resolution.
And Donnell had his hand up.
Yes, Donnell.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Susan. So, Susan, I think you answered my question. So, because it's like, sort of like mandated, we have to maintain it, right? Is what
Exactly.
the language is saying from the state is we have to maintain this department, so we can't just get rid of it like we did sanitation. Is what I'm saying. I guess that's my question, right?
Right.
So we have to maintain this. We have to have a director. So I think you answered my question. I don't have anything else to.
Right.
I think you answered my question.
Okay.
Thank you.
I would not be happy if we outsourced veterans directors to Casella. So
Okay, so let's look at the wording of option one. There's
you want to
actually
share your screen?
what? I
You wanna share-
can't. I don't know how to do that
All right, let me
because
pull it up.
I'm using my little mini iPad If you can
Okay.
do that, that would be great.
I-
I can read, no, I thought you would print it out because that's why I sent it to you
My
guys,
printer's
but
broken. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, resolution,
okay.
and all right. Do you see that where it says option one?
Yes,
All right. So that's the thing that Susan
right.
sent about an hour
It's
ago.
just on a single page by itself.
Well, 3 pages by itself, but
Well,
we have the old versions, which we don't need.
right,
Option three, which we don't need to talk about.
right.
Option 2A and 2B are similar, but the real meaty one is option one, which is
Right.
here.
And my thinking in doing it this way, the first part of it is simply what we're requesting, but the explanation for why we think it's needed is done in that way. So I think that even though there are plans to do a hire, it's John, is it clear that this is going to be a full-time position?
Yes, full-time position.
Okay. And what is the plan in terms of job posting? And will there be a hiring committee established or task force?
Yes, my expectation would be the job would be posted after select board approval, which will be next Tuesday. And then the hiring committee, my expectation would be myself, Bill McGroarty, and probably one more person after that. We'll probably have an odd number.
Mm-hmm.
John, did
Okay.
anybody on the sixth floor talk about merging the Veterans Department with Health? There's been a rumor going around town about that.
Not merging. It's always reported to health. If you look at the org chart under human services, it's sort of a quasi department. So Bill is always reported to the health.
Huh. He's
Okay.
never mentioned that. That's so interesting.
All right. I still think we should have a vote on a resolution for the record. It seems that, for the record, we need to have something. The only things I would change in this, under, where is it now? Under number 3,
Mm-hmm.
it says, or risk leaving his beloved veterans without the help. It's a little dramatic. It sounds more like we're sort of lionizing him and him getting upset by this rather than,
So
focusing on the
what are you
veterans and the
suggesting?
needs, the fact that they have nowhere else to turn. So
Are you
I-
suggesting we eliminate that entirely?
or reword it. And
Okay.
and the other thing is that there's nothing in number 3, and there should be something brief saying that most of the duties have been put on the clerk unfairly, I think, because I don't know if she's qualified to do all of it.
Well, it's
and-
not
and-
really only a question of unfairly. She is not a veteran.
Right.
She is not allowed to do certain things that he is. So,
Right, but the question is, if she's taking on the duties of the acting as
Right.
sort of de facto acting director, is she getting a bump in pay, or is she doing all this extra
well,
work
I
for the same
think
amount of pay?
that is not something we should be using this resolution to discuss at this point, because I think it sort of waters it down, and we want to focus on the main point, which is, okay, so it just seemed, so the question is, one word that I wanted to add and I intended to add is after a resolution, I wanted to add the word respectfully. Okay. So the first paragraph, is that acceptable to everyone? A resolution respectfully urging that the select board, the town administrator and the staff, and the human resources director forthwith commence the
Yep.
process of hiring a replacement director of veteran services and do everything in their power to expedite this process rather than waiting until after the May override ballot results are known before actively commencing a job search for this vitally needed position.
I would point out that there's nothing in here that says where the resolution is coming from. So it doesn't say a resolution from the Human Services Subcommittee or resolution
Excellent point.
from the advisory committee itself. Do we want to put the full advisory wording in here and ask them to vote on that, or do we want to just have
Okay,
it-
well, let's just, I mean, I know that we've just been handed some new information. And John, you have to understand, at our meeting just a few days ago, we were told by Charlie that nothing was going to be done until after the override was passed. And so that's what was the genesis for our believing that we needed to have some kind of resolution.
Yeah.
So the first
Barry has his hand
question
up.
I want to ask is, do we still want to have a resolution as simply a statement of, I don't think
Yeah.
anything that we're asking for is something that the town apparently is not already going to be doing.
I think we need it given the last meeting, and Perry has his hand up.
Yeah, my
Okay, I
question
don't-
is similar about that phrase about the May override ballot. I mean, that's, yeah, what we're hearing from John is different than what we heard from Charlie last week. So I don't know if that still stays in there or not.
I would just say everything in their power to expedite the process for the following reasons, and get rid of the stuff in the middle.
Get rid of what?
So I think just everything after the word process in the
Mhm.
fourth line in that first paragraph, Susan.
Wait, a resolution urging that resolution from the Human Services Subcommittee Advisory Committee respectfully urging that the Select Board, the Town Administrator, and the staff, and the Human Services Director forthwith commence the process of hiring a replacement director of Veteran Services.
And do
And
everything in their
is that
power to
where we
expedite the
want to
process.
stop?
No, and continue on to and do everything in their
And
power
do
to
everything in their
expedite this
power to
process.
expedite this process. Oh, and you want
For
me
the
to
following
eliminate?
reasons.
For the following reasons. So everything
For
between
so
process.
eliminate that whole section about the override.
Yes.
Does everyone agree?
Yes,
One second,
Yes.
I'm just, and,
let me see if I can highlight the,
I'm just wondering, do we need and do everything in their power? Can we just have it and can we have it just, it'd be less wordy if it says and expedite this process?
And do everything to expedite this process?
I would get rid of everything and
Of hiring.
expedite this
Right.
process.
Just strike after services until expedite or to expedite this process. I think that's fine.
so
Pri-
on the line after the words veteran services, and do everything in their power, get rid of that.
Wait, can I ask the question? Because I'm the one who's writing this down. So forthwith commence the process of hiring a replacement director of Veteran Services. And then what?
I was going to say and expedite the process, but maybe Alec is right. Veteran services to expedite this process.
Forthwith commence the process for hiring. Okay. Okay. All right. To expedite.
I think maybe
Okay.
it does need to be and. I think you're right, Barry.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
So
and
after
to
Veteran
expedite.
Services, go on to expedite the
Mhm.
process.
For the following reasons.
For the following reasons, yeah.
To expedite the process for the following reasons.
That sounds
Okay.
better.
And then the reasons. All right. The town is legal. I'll do each one separately and you can weigh in about if there are any changes.
Susan, have you already written in your notes a resolution from
From
the committee?
from the Human Services
Yeah,
Subcommittee,
that's already there?
respectfully urging that the select board, right.
Right.
The
Yeah, we have
town-
it right. Susan, we have it in front of us. We don't need to read each one, and we only
Okay.
have 9 minutes left.
All right. So item 1, any changes?
Nope, that sounds good to me.
Okay.
Well, wait, but we're
Anyone?
no longer concerned about the ballot question since John just said that wasn't an issue, right?
So should we strike everything after?
No, because I actually think that there's a point in including that simply because people, just this morning, I was told by Anne that ballot process, that the outcome of the override is an issue. So that I do think it's useful to have some mention of it. if not in the first paragraph. It simply states a fact that regardless of the outcome of the override ballot question, this is not a discretionary position.
Okay.
I mean, it
I
just,
agree.
Yep.
all right.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Second,
The second one, I would like, second paragraph, I would like to strike who have nowhere else to turn. Now, I know there are certain things that Bill is extremely skilled at and leverages his experience as a veteran, and I really do appreciate that. But there may be other social services roles that could do some of this. So I think it's a little
right.
too strict to say who have nowhere else to turn.
Okay,
Who may have nowhere else to turn. We could add the word may.
okay. I guess the problem is that it sounds like it's only the director who could deal with it as opposed to the department, because the law requires that certain things be done by that department. Okay, but not specifically by the director.
Right.
So that's the distinction. So
What about the
I-
Veteran Services Director oversees a department that performs critically needed?
well, as Bill told us, the fact that he fully understands what it was like to be in battle helps him actually communicate better with the veterans and understand the kinds of stresses they were under and why that's a rationale for their needing certain services, even if the veteran isn't articulating that. So maybe we could simply say, it sounds like Perry doesn't like the emotional language. So maybe we could simply say, the Veteran Services Director performs critically needed and legally required work obtaining essential services for Brookline's veterans, period, or not period, but, and then eliminate who have nowhere else to turn, and then say, and every month that there is not a full-time director in place puts their well-being at risk.
Yep.
Is that right? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Particularly at a time when the federal government has cut back on VA medical staff. Is that okay?
Yep. Good for me.
Which makes the need for timely assistance in navigating the complexity of a vast bureaucracy even more urgent. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So, okay, 3 is the long-term loyal. All right. So Perry or anyone else asking, think about, do we want to include this or not? Asking a long-term loyal and
Right, we don't need to read it. We have it in front of us. but
okay.
I would recommend getting rid of 3 and getting rid of 4. Because 4 sort of says what we've said before, and 3 is a little, more emotional rather than data driven.
I would agree, and particularly given what we've heard from John
Right.
this evening, it sounds like that concern has been heard. And so I'd be comfortable striking 3 and 4 as well.
Okay. What about I know it's too bad that Neil isn't here. Not that he's on a member of the committee, but
I think
he
you
had
should
very
keep in
strong
4.
feelings about that.
Well,
Fran, I'm sorry, what
I
did you
think-
say?
I said I
I'm sorry,
like
Frank.
4.
Okay.
Okay.
So
I would like to keep 4, if only as an attorney. I am always aware that just because we think something is going to happen one way, things can change. And so it's helpful to think about contingencies as well.
Well,
You
And-
can stop 4
This-
at the town doesn't truly value their services, period. And
I
that
would get
gets-
rid of that as well, because, this is not a legal thing. It's only a resolution. And we're kind of at this point using the veterans to say that, oh, they're going to be slighted if we don't do something. I think that's over the top. I think we can get rid of it.
Okay.
We have a nice
What-
short resolution that we can just fix and just, in 4 minutes, send it over to
Okay.
AC.
Okay.
Yeah, so I agree. Hold on, Susan. So I agree with that as well,
Yeah.
because I mean you do hit on the lived experience and how it's important for a veteran to have, gone through it.
Okay.
So I mean I agree with striking 3 and 4. I mean, I think
Okay.
you hit
I could,
it in 1 and 2.
right. I could agree with that. The one phrase that I'd like to then insert someplace is, okay, no, we do mention full-time. Okay, so I think I would be comfortable not having that. So just having just 2 paragraphs.
Okay with me, Fran.
Does that,
Yeah, that
okay,
works for me. Yeah, I think,
So if there are no other changes, I'll move the revised language that we just talked about.
Second.
okay. And I will then,
Do a quick roll call.
well, not only a quick roll call, I then have to type it up for the full AC
Right.
or
so
make the modifications and get it posted. But yeah, so let us do a roll call vote. David Mark.
Yes.
Oh, is there a motion?
It's
you make a
been made
motion?
and seconded.
Yeah.
Okay. David Mark,
Yes.
Alec,
Yes.
Fran,
Yes.
Perry,
yes.
Donnell,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. So it's unanimous.
Okay.
And
6:58.
So
how do we, this is now we want to keep a resolution from the Human Services Subcommittee. And then at the meeting tonight, we can then, someone can make a motion to substitute advisory committee and see if there's interest in that.
And
regardless if the select board is going to do it or not, we should do it anyways.
Right.
Okay.
And if you have the revised language and you send it to me, I can share my screen at full AC so they can read it off the screen.
I will send you, I have to type it up.
I understand. Yep.
Yeah, and I will send it to you and that would be great.
Okay.
And John, I want to thank you so much for clarifying things, and hopefully, because I've been hearing so many different, well, we all have, and even as recently as today, that this is not what we were told. So it sounds like, we're very pleased at what's been happening, and the expectation, just to clarify, the vote at the select board will they actually vote on it a week from tonight?
I was told by Melissa Goff and Ann Braga that it would be in their packets for next week. Yes.
Because sometimes they discuss it and vote on it the following week or so.
Okay.
And
we got to end this.
Okay, but the other question I have is, has there been an action taken to okay this by the committee of Melissa Goff and Ann Braga?
Yes.
Great. That's exactly what we needed to hear. So thank you so much, John. And I will now end this meeting and start typing very quickly.
Thanks. All right. Goodbye,
See you
everyone.
soon. Thank you.